What's up, guys? I'm Don11, and in today's video, I'm going to be checking out Prehistoric Kingdom's June 2025 Dev Diary. This one is super packed. I don't even have like a script or anything. I just came right to it because there is so much to check out. And as you can see right here in this picture, there are eggs, and that is, of course, leading into the brand new feature, the surprise feature that is going to be coming in Prehistoric Kingdom: breeding. Yes, the animals will be able to create the next generation in Update 15. Now, breeding was originally planned for Update 19, which is crazy. But now, spoiler, everything in Update 19 has basically been moved to Update 15. And Update 19 is now going to be the official release. Of course, Update 20 was going to be the official launch at one point, not anymore. Also, the game is 30% off for the Steam Summer Sale till July 11th, so pick it up. Alright, so let's check out the state of development. So, of course, as I said earlier, Prehistoric Kingdom, the devs, they were planning to release breeding, or at least work on breeding, at the end of early access, as you can see right here. But they've been secretly working on it since Update 14 launched back in April, thanks to the warm reception that all of us players gave. We love the baby animals, and of course everyone wanted breeding. It's basically the next step to baby animals. I mean, of course we wanted it, and um and these are like also breeding will add more gameplay to the vets and diseases coming in Update 16, which also was at one point in Update 17. So a lot of stuff has shifted. Definitely check out the public roadmap for more. I might check it out at the end of this video, depending on how long it is. So, as you might imagine, it was a pretty quick decision for them to work on this breeding. And there's a lot of stuff to go. Of course, the animals now have many more goals than just to eat or drink. They've now got to mate, look for one, court each other, and find a nest, build it. There's a lot going on. This is a very big update. It's been pushed back to August. The official update has been pushed back to August. They do want to release the public testing branch version in late July. Of course, to get feedback from the community, fix up any bugs. They are asking for our patience, and I will gladly give them mine, despite the fact that I really want to get this update now, but of course is going to take a very long time. This is the picture from the the dev diary. I don't know what the word is. The dev diary picture up there. As you can see, we've got a nest with eggs in it, and the baby dinosaurs also surrounding with the eggs, like they have holes in them. Alright, so here's what we are getting for Update 15 with all the information on breeding. Now, as it says here, this is written in the perspective of challenge mode, so of course in sandbox there might be some differences, or you might be able to change everything. So I'm just gonna read off like exactly what it says here, because like I said, I don't have a script or anything to sum it up. So breeding becomes viable once the player has unlocked male animals through research. In order to have your animals successfully breed, there are a number of factors that must be considered. So first we have fertility, and fertility, not fertility. Fertility is a new value that determines the maximum amount of offspring an animal can have. This means that animals with a high fertility have the potential to yield many babies, while lower fertility can only produce few or none. Now, if we check out this picture right here, of course we have the new menu, the new nursery menu. And as you can see, we've got a new fertility fertility section right here with the sperm cell or something there. And this is the maximum fertility of an animal upon reaching adulthood. And there are a lot of factors that go into the fertility. For example, an animal that will grow slower, so if you turn the growth speed down, and that starts younger, like you place it down younger, it will have a higher fertility, I believe, if I remember correctly, because of course I did read this before. Yes, you'll need to adjust the growth speed and maturity of the creatures in the nursery to get higher fertility. Slower an animal grows and the younger it is, the higher its fertility will be upon reaching adulthood. Which makes sense, the longer you allow them to mature, grow up, get all the good traits, more likely they're going to be able to have babies. Uh, so um, yeah, this means that players who take the time to raise their animals from baby to adult will be properly rewarded when it's time to breed them. This is especially important as any offspring will inherit the fertility of their parents, averaging the two together. This next section goes over the breeding season and courtship. So, as you can see in this picture, we have breeding seasons, which can be seen right here through the dinosaurs menu. We've got Gary here. We can see his fertility, 36%, and the breeding season, and we can also see it in the Paleopedia. Yes, that's the word. And it will actually like cycle through, showing which month you're in. I think if we're like going through this like this is probably July, September, no, July, August, September, would be my guess, or maybe it's going like this, but it's probably going clockwise. Would be my guess. And we've also got some more stuff here. So we've got incubation time 3 months, embryo survival chance, mating system, polygyny, and what size nest you're gonna need, because that is down here. There is information on that down there. Now, during the breeding season, adult animals have a chance to partake in courtship, which we can see right here. Now, the Leonosaur, for example, has this unique sort of dance that it does. The Leonosaur has this unique sort of dance it does. However, not all animals will have this. Some of them will be much more simple. And the females, which is this one right here, they will have the chance to accept or reject the male, which is going to lead to a certain interaction. Right here, a positive or negative encounter. Maybe we can see stuff like fighting or chasing off, stuff like that in the future when combat is added. I don't know. It just says positive or negative encounter. But this is very cool. Like to see some new animation work and stuff being added in the game. So next up, we're on to the next section with nesting and bedding. A successful courtship means that a female has been bred and has the potential to carry offspring for the remainder of the breeding season. In order to actually receive babies, however, the player must add specific modules to their habitat, these being the nest or birthing bed, which we can see right here. There's different sizes. Of course, this Psittacosaurus is probably not going to need a nest this big, but maybe a Brachiosaurus is, I don't think a Brachiosaurus is going to want is going to want that tiny little nest. So, like it says, dinosaurs will require a nest, mammals require a birthing bed. If the player does not include these in the habitat, well, then the animals can't have offspring. So this is a way to sort of control the breeding of your dinosaurs. Maybe if you don't want them to have natural babies, I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't want them to have natural babies, then just don't put a nest down. I don't know why you would do that, though. So after successful courtship, the female will seek out a nesting module to claim as her own. Once claimed, she'll physically dig up the nest or birthing bed, changing its features in real time, which we can see in a little video down below. Nests in particular can be built up into craters or mounds, while birthing beds have dry grass and leaf litter. So we've got a picture of the Triceratops. I think this is a male. Either that or it's just another female with a different skin. I think it is a male, but also just with a different skin. And we've got the nest right here. I believe that's the female who has been digging it up. And then down here, yep, we've got the Velociraptor, as you can see, kicking up at this, digging it up. And here in this little video, we can see the T-Rex. The T-Rex mother building up the little nest back here. Of course, this is sped up for the video demonstration. We've got a brand new animation of the T-Rex sort of kicking up dirt and stuff to build up the nest. Oops, I accidentally keep pausing the videos. Also, this little note here, Tyrannosaurus will build a mound-style nest in the final update. Players can also select what species are allowed to use a nest or birthing bed before they're claimed. So you're going to be able to easily separate nesting areas, which is really cool. That's also a very cool feature for like mixed species enclosures. You're going to be able to reserve this bed, for example, for just the Elasmotherium, and then the Coelodonta over here, maybe this bed right here. I think that's a bed. It looks like one. And here we can also see some information. So we've got the mother and father of this little spot. She's going to be having two babies, which is, I mean, of course it's a mammal, so that's twins. Like, you're going to be giving live birth, so it's kind of crazy. Ava, Darren, and of course this has been set to be used by Coelodonta, except there's Elasmotherium. It's just a concept art. We shouldn't be taking it that deep. I'm sure that's just made for the concept. Um, so once a nest has been fully built up, eggs will appear. By the way, this is the next generation part. Each egg now has a health bar and must be tended by parents or in the future vets. If the parents spend too much time away finding food or water, the egg health will drop, gradually killing the eggs one at a time. Now, this is a really interesting feature. After the incubation period has ended, baby dinosaurs will finally hatch at that nesting site. And as you can see, the eggs have actually like cracked and stuff. And it looks like 4 of them have hatched, and or maybe 5. That one in the back looks hatched. And this one, actually, wait. No, I think they've all hatched. Yeah, this a little cracked. Either that or just my eyes are playing tricks on me. The birthing beds work similarly, although, of course, the mammals are more resilient and they're less at risk of losing the offspring because they're also not going to be laying when they're not going to be producing as many offspring as well. So they kind of need a higher success rate. So at the end of their incubation period, the mother will rest and deliver her babies on the birthing bed, like we can see here. And the nests and birthing beds will return to their original state a short time after all the babies have born, allowing new parents to claim the modules. So maybe this mammoth over here might want to come claim this. This is a very cool little enclosure area that built here, because you can see the babies coming out. So why go through all this? To put it simply, animals that are born in the park have a higher amount of animal points, so that's going to be interesting to see how they make that work. Investing into breeding is a great way to get your park rating up without spending thousands on cloning new individuals. This will be especially important come update 16 when the animals can finally die of old age. Yes, that will, having new animals to replace the dying ones, that will be very important. That sounded like I'm a greedy billionaire or something who's like, nobody cares about their lives as long as we have more to exploit. But no, I didn't mean like that. Okay, so here they have a little breeding frequently asked questions thing. So why did they go with placeable nests? Compared to other options we thought of, they had the best pros overall. Not only do they act as birth control, but they also allow players to design realistic nesting sites or dens exactly how they want. And yeah, of course, it would be really cool to see the AI making their own nests, but I do think that, at least from a park building standpoint, placeable nests makes a lot more sense. And they're going the same route in Jurassic World Evolution 3 as well. So, what happens when animals with 2 different skins breed? The baby will have a random skin from the mother and father. Yeah, pretty simple. I'm interested to see if babies will be able to get mutations. Hopefully. I mean, I'm sure they will. I'm sure the devs will add it. Will animals fight over nests? Oops. While fighting is not implemented yet, there will be disputes that can occur between females of competitive species if there aren't enough nests or birthing dens. This is an area we'd like to expand on in the future. Okay, so that's really cool. Of course, chasing off and stuff, like animal fleeing and chasing, is going to be added in this update. Not combat fully yet, but fleeing and chasing is going to be added. So I think that's what they're talking about with the disputes. If you delete a nest or birthing bed, well then it'll show you a warning that it's going to destroy the eggs or the pregnancy if you do it. I don't know why you would do that. Just don't place the nest or don't place the bed. So, can nests become diseased / will there be pregnancy complications? We're aiming to add things like that later when vets arrive in update 16. They've talked about the vets a lot. In the next update, however, pregnant animals will consume more food and water at the very least. And that's a really cool touch. The pregnant animal is going to need more food and more water. I wonder if that's going to apply to dinosaurs because they lay their eggs. So are they going to need more food still? I don't think so. Will animals have realistic offspring amounts? Since breeding is a yearly occurrence and players can have as many nesting sites as they want, we can't use realistic clutch sizes, which makes sense. Of course, they can't have 50 sauropods being hatched at a time. It's less cool to have that happen 20 times in the same month. We need to make things more reasonable for gameplay. Yes, that is totally fair. Does a high fertility mean animals will always have lots of offspring? There is always a chance that fertile animals will produce little offspring during the breeding season. This is an intentional choice to ensure clutches remain random and varied. Yeah, that makes sense. This is also great. Animals will not breed with direct relatives. So, I mean, that's going to be cool for like ecosystems and stuff when you make loads of the like you just put a bunch of adult dinosaurs in, and they just slowly create a new population, and species will also stop breeding once they go over a certain level of overcrowding in the exhibit. So, also we can see right here, later in update 16, players will have more control over their breeding populations through feeder supplements. Of course, the animals will also die of old age or disease in update 16, so please look forward to that. I'm not sure if I want to see the animals dying, but like they're talking about the control and stuff, so that's going to be really cool. Now that you know how breeding works, we wanted to quickly showcase how much dynamism has gone into our nest. As mentioned above, both nests and birthing beds start as dirt mounds, which we can see right here in this picture. We've got some Paleosaurus in the background. It's only once they've been cleaned that the animal will build the module into the desired settings. Thanks to their granular nature, we can do a decent job at replicating nests seen in the fossil record. For example, nests can either be craters, mounds, or anywhere in between depending on the species. Now that's really cool. I'm very excited to see the way they do this. In fact, there is a little video right here. So, yeah, here's how it looks when a developer is doing the stuff. So we can see that's like a mound, and actually maybe that's a mound, and yeah, the other one's a crater. Yeah, that's a crater, and that's a mound. Yeah. Okay, very cool. Actually, this is a very long video. Also could be a different color, or like I'm assuming that's like the type of stuff. Oh, that's like sand. That is like very rocky. Oh, and there's the eggs. So this is gonna be wow. That's a lot of eggs. That is a lot of eggs. But this is going to be very cool to see. Oh, and there's the hatched eggs. What dinosaur is going to be doing that? We also have 4 different egg types, including ovoid. So we can see right here, round, soft, and long. Very long. That actually sit on the outside of the nest, just like what you'd see from dinosaurs like Oviraptor. Little foreshadowing there. In real life, each species can also have its own egg colors, making them even more distinct. This is really cool. I really like just how in-depth. I mean, I'm not even surprised at this point because the PK devs are just so amazing. They just think up like everything to do. And here we can see, a more in-depth look. We've got, of the different nest types, different colors, the different shapes. This is very cool. What's also cool is that the amount of eggs roughly depends on how many babies are actually incubating. It's not an exact 1-to-1 for technical reasons, but if your dinosaur has a small clutch, it'll be reflected in the nest. And yes, once a baby's hatched, the cracked eggshells are also left behind. Very cool. And of course, Gallimimus is coming into Prehistoric Kingdom in Update 15. This image was shared last Wednesday for the dev report, but it was also free. It was like the free little bit they give. And they are looking very cute here. Very, very much like the Dinochirus in a way, except they are more feathered and, just all around not as, like, crazy looking. But the Dinochirus is still my favorite little baby in the game. Here we've got another shot with the babies following their mother. Like the other animals in Prehistoric Kingdom, Gallimimus goes seamlessly, of course. Even though we made the system, it always blows us away seeing it in action. Keep in mind, any popping seen below is not actually visible in-game at regular growth speeds. Okay. So, of course, we've got the time-lapse right here. Let me go full screen real quick. And I believe they're actually showing a new skin here. Like, I don't know if I've seen this skin in, like, an actual show. Actually, I think they showcased it one time. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if this one was showcased before. So new skin shown, at least to the public, because maybe if it was on Patreon, this skin was showcased. I'm not really too sure. Uh, for fans who played the original Steam demo back in the day, the color scheme for Baby Gallimimus might seem familiar. Despite this, our dino artist, Cindy, swears it wasn't on purpose. Just a happy little accident. So as you can see, this is the old Gallimimus way back when, and the coloring, the patterning, it looks very similar. And I mean, it's just fitting, like the colors do fit, so I can see why you'd want it to be similar. I'm sure it wasn't an accident, you know. They just love to joke around. um, but this is just very cool to see the evolution of the Gallimimus and just how far this game has come, man. That's not all for this dev diary. This diary is so dang packed. Sorry, I couldn't form words there. And we've got some little ground texture updates. Last update, we changed the wetland grass in response to community feedback requesting more grass texture diversity. For update 15, we're happy to say that the grasses for desert, grassland, scrubland, temperate, and tropical have all been updated. The original green and dry grasses have now been moved to coastal and boreal, respectively. Okay, so we've got desert, grassland, tropical, which you can see is like more. I don't really know how to put it. We've got this wetland one, which is interesting. Oh yeah, that was added in the last one. Boreal, coastal, temperate, and scrubland. Please note that these changes will impact existing saves. So you're gonna have to maybe do some changes, some repaints. Personally, it doesn't bother me too much, and it does make sense. They say that they'd rather get it out of the way while still in early access, because of course once the game gets out of early access, they probably don't want to do like changes like this that are going to heavily impact existing stuff. Mesozoic environments. So for this section, they're going to be highlighting their environment artist Nathan, who has spent the last 6 months exclusively working on plants. Wow, that is crazy, honestly. 32 species and over 200 variants later, it's done, which is super cool. Nathan can finally rest. He can't. Sorry, Nathan. um, so this is very cool. Nathan has, he's been working on all of this, so that's really cool. Of course, I don't really know him, but he's mentioned in the dev diary, so I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Thanks to these additions, 22 new paleobotany formations will be added in Update 15, greatly expanding the world map in the excavations menu to help keep things readable. Dig sites now use unique icons depending on if they are Mesozoic, Cenozoic, or Paleoflora related. So this is really cool. As you can see right here, we've got the Paleoflora ones, dinosaur ones, so Mesozoic ones, and Cenozoic ones, the paw print for like a lion or something, cave lion. So this is their final paleobotany showcase. We have the boreal, the Mesozoic boreal, of course, with the Leonosaura. This is a very cool shot. This is a very interesting shot. These are very interesting plants. I don't know much about extinct plants, but these are the dead variants, apparently. And this is very cool. I really like the way this looks, actually. And then, we can get a closer look if you want. Yeah, I really like the way this looks. These trees are very unique. We don't really have anything like them currently, so this is going to be really cool to see. The boreal Mesozoic environment. Here we've got the desert. Sorry, I'm not really reading the stuff. I'm trying to just go through the photos. We've got the Mesozoic desert. Now this picture here, it doesn't really look as unique as this one. It does kind of look very similar, but I do really like what we're seeing here. Of course, we've got some trees. And here, these are very interesting. These little plants right here, very interesting to see. We've got the Mesozoic grassland. This looks pretty cool. We've got loads of plants here. Grasses didn't evolve until the end of the Cretaceous period. So, of course, yeah, this is a very weird sort of biome to try and fill in, because the grassland is supposed to be grass, but no grass in the Mesozoic until the end. So yeah, but this is a very cool, very cool shot. I was gonna say very cool picture, but the shot word came out of my mouth. This is a very cool picture. We've got some Oranosaurus and a lot of plants, a lot of plants. Below we've got the Mesozoic wetland. Has some of the most diverse presets in the game, and I really like these trees. Like, they're kind of like the redwoods, except also a bit different. Of course, we got the Amontosaurus, some of these plants down here, and this is also really interesting because this kind of inspires me to not use so much grass as the main texture in my parks. Instead, like, put dirt on the ground and then put like the plants over it. That's really cool to see. And this is also a very, very cool shot. We've got the Spinosaurus with like some prehistoric palm trees. Is kind of what they remind me of, and some bamboo. Like, it's not bamboo because these are Mesozoic, but like this is awesome. I love this shot right here, and of course we've got another shot right here. And also, new quality of life feature is coming in update 15. And that's the ability to paint aquatic plants directly onto lakes and rivers. Now this is a really cool feature as well. So this is also in addition to a water mask toggle that prevents non-aquatic foliage from being painted in water. So this is a amazing feature. Let's check out the video right here. So we can see respect the water mask right here. So these water plants will not go out of the water, whereas these land plants will not go in the water. And it's really cool to see them, going on top of the water. This is just a very nice quality of life touch. And as it says, oh, that just spoiled like one of the big things. Mangroves, cypress, and reeds will generate in water up to a certain depth, making it easy to create convincing wetlands, which is really cool. And also, this is a very cool surprise that they showed us. If one surprise wasn't enough, we've got another. Given the update's theme, we felt it was only appropriate to introduce a species best known for its relations to eggs. Say hello to Oviraptor, a small feathered dinosaur from Mongolia. Originally described as an egg thief, it's now understood that Oviraptor was but one of many dinosaurs that cared for their young. Unlike most other theropods, the toothless jaws of an Oviraptor are equipped with a beak and dentary bones protrusions within the mouth that allow them to easily break down various fruits and nuts in the park. Can't wait to show you how this animal looks in-game as we get closer to release of Update 15. We've wanted to bring this animal back for a long time and are so proud to introduce it alongside Nesting. And here we've got the picture of Oviraptor Philoceratops. I think that's how you say it. We've got the male variant and the female variant. The male has some coloring on the crest and overall just brighter colors, whereas the female here doesn't really have that. Actually, the female doesn't have the crest and is a little darker and such, as we see a lot with these dinosaurs and like birds and stuff. Also, we can see the size right here. And Oviraptor is very exciting. It's going to be so cool to see this guy in game. Yeah, that is basically it for the dev diary. We've got the community spotlight. Awesome picture right here of the Acanthosaurus. We've got a Coelodonta with spears in its back. And we've also got this. Not really sure what this, I mean, it's just, oh yeah, it's like a viewing area. Oh, this is very cool. Yeah. It's been very hard to keep breeding a secret over the last few months, but we are so happy to finally reveal it in detail to the world. We have more news next month as we approach the August release for Update 15. I hope you are just as excited as we are for the future of Prehistoric Kingdom. Definitely go check out the game on the Steam Summer Sale, 30% off, and check them out on Patreon. Till next time, the PK team. And yeah, this was a absolutely huge, jam-packed not update, dev diary right here. We got so much information, so many new surprises. Like I said, Update 19 was just jammed into Update 15. They've been combined, and now this is going to be one big, beautiful update. I did say we might be able to look at the Trello page, but I think it's been way too long. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's it for me. Bye.